How well did it age? Is it still fun to watch after 35 years? Does it offend postmodern sensitivities? Is it kid-friendly? Willow is a 1988 fantasy tale about an unconventional hero on an epic journey to defeat an evil queen and save a baby who's the key to everything. It was made for kids in the 80s,
and very evidently so.
It had no intention to incept the viewer with particular messages.
Weird.
Nor does it feel the need to force-feed or shoehorn diversity down our throats. Having said that, it does offer a plethora of progressive tropes such as furry love, trans women, girl bosses, and white men getting turned into pigs. Oh, just kidding. It's a whimsical fairy tale written with one thing in mind: escapist entertainment. Ah, God, I miss those times. Willow borrows from fantasy literature and folklore to deliver us a world with magic and monsters. There are clear references from Lord of the Rings, Arthurian legends, and classic fairy tales. It's created by George Lucas, so you can expect movie tropes similar to Star Wars or Indiana Jones, such as Joseph Campbell's The Hero's Journey, a good versus evil dichotomy, and respect for the wisdom of old mentor figures. Yes, Gen Z, respecting the past and your elders used to be a Hollywood thing. We have iconic adventure scenes, a scoundrel with a heart, and strong women, but not the ridiculous Mary Sue archetypes of modern movies. The world and its history are not exactly explained, which is a bit of a problem with the flick. Although the lore that is presented is often shown and not told, introduced along the movie as the characters come across them, which is a good thing. We learn that Willow's people are a race and they are called Nelwyns, regular-sized humans are the Daikinis, and they really like to call Willow a peck.
Peck.
Get out of here! Peck!
We later learn about the brownies, fairies, and the trolls as they show up. I found so many elements taken from Lord of the Rings upon rewatching this movie that I suspect I might be seeing too many things. Here we go. The Hobbits, the Shire, Frodo and Sam, the One Ring as the hero's burden and the villain's weakness, Elrond's council, the Fellowship of the Ring. At one point, Frodo and Sam even get separated, hiding from the ring wraiths, the Prancing Pony, Strider or Aragorn, Merry and Pippin, Gandalf, Saruman, or maybe the Dark Lord Sauron, or must I say,
Bev Mordor,
Galadriel and the Magic Gift, Éomer and the Rohirrim, Éowyn, the Battle of Helm's Deep, men, elves, and dwarves joining forces. We could even say that Peter Jackson returned the favor and paid homage to Willow by including
magic break dancing.
One can also draw a link between Star Wars and Willow characters. Luke Skywalker, Han Solo, Darth Vader, Princess Leia, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Emperor Palpatine, the droids. So what do you think about these correlations? Do you agree with all of them? Did I miss any? Tell me in the comments. What works in the movie? I love all about Willow's family and his ethics as a hard-working family man, good father, and the hero with a dream. There are no great actors in the family, but their warmth, charisma, and likability are all through the roof. The score is fantastic. Composed by James Horner, it has an epic, adventurous, and catchy main theme that was so good that Horner licensed its usage to other movie trailers, such as Robin Hood, the Prince of Thieves with Kevin Costner. Horner passed away in 2015 and left us a legacy of epic cinematic scores like Titanic and Braveheart. Speaking of adventure, the action scenes are awesome. The tavern chase, the snowy mountain baby heist, Matt Mardigan finally kicking some ass. I remember practicing this sword trick as a kid to the point of mastery. The snow sled escape, even with all the goofiness. The defense of Tir Asleen. Young RPG playing nerds like me have a blast with the warrior finding improved gear, including this fabulous armor set. Oh yeah! and proceeding to mop the floor with the evil minions. Even Sorsha decides to turn on her own mother when he shoots himself up a catapult to save Willow and fight the Eborsisk monster. The final battle is engaging and tension builds up to an epic climax. Val Kilmer is just great. The guy has mad charisma and chemistry with pretty much everyone else. Willow, Sorsha, and even baby Elora. His comedy is the only one that actually works in the movie. The main characters grow and learn. Willow, Matt Mardigan, Sorsha, they're all improved versions of themselves by the end of the movie. Hats off for the attention to detail in costume and props. The armors are stylish and the characters have customized weapons. There are Eastern cultural influences, such as Sorsha's armor and his shuriken, mixed in with the predominantly European themes. This is actually one of my favorite details in this film. They could have easily gone with regular vanilla longswords, but look how they made it cool and unique. What doesn't work in the movie? Most of the comedy lands on water. The brownies constantly try to be funny, but they just come across as annoying. The puke and poop scatological humor style was never funny anywhere, and Willow is no exception. Could it be that some kids chuckle? Perhaps? I don't know. I don't remember liking this even as a kid. There are some plot holes and sloppy writing decisions, such as the conclusion that the dogs were looking for a baby over one smashed crib. The choose a finger test. That doesn't make a lot of sense. Willow's decision to give the baby to a rude and potentially dangerous man in a cage. Sorsha spearheading her troops upon entering an obviously dangerous close quarters environment. Some of the special effects, especially the ones involving the brownies. Morda's demise after Willow fools her with her baby swap trick. Even though this is a good use of setup and payoff, plus showing a weaker character using his wits to gain the upper hand, her death itself was confusing as a lot of people didn't understand how she died in the first place, or why she was performing a ritual instead of simply killing the baby immediately. If you're planning to watch this with your kids, which I totally recommend by the way, I would give Willow a rating of 8 years old for age appropriateness. But that also depends on your kid's tolerance for violence and scariness and your own values as a parent. Here are some things to consider when watching Willow with kids. The scenes of the dogs killing the midwife, storming the village, and Willow's daughter in distress can be scary, although no explicit violence is clearly shown. Some other fights are pretty explicit in the other hand, especially the final clash between Matt Mardigan and General KO. Gnarly. The evil witch constantly threatens a baby with murder, and the ritual scene is pretty dark for little ones. Some romantic kissing here and there, drunken characters, potty humor, a scene where a married woman is trying to hide her lover from her husband by dressing him up as a woman. Then the husband proceeds to grope the woman's breasts and invites her for a mating session right in front of his wife.
The PANDERMETER.
Back in '88, pandering to social justice and Marxism wasn't exactly mainstream. The heavy handling of political undertones is of course absent from the piece, although, even by current standards, is actually a pretty good example of representation done right. Your usual brain-dead movie critic would probably rush to point out that the cast is predominantly white and that it portrays a cross-dressing man as something bizarre and laughable, and would ignore the fact that our protagonist is a person with dwarfism, with agency and courage, who's not played for laughs at all. Narcissistic impersonators like Peter Dinklage would probably call this a backward story about dwarfs. Thankfully, wokeness wasn't mainstream at the time, and the production hired more than 200 little people for the Nelwyn Village scenes. Today's little actors weren't so lucky, and thanks to Tyrion Lannister, lost 7 potentially life-changing opportunities as Disney changed course to avoid the backlash. The Oppression Olympics continues its path of destruction. Anyways, back to Willow. There are 4 women with key roles that move the plot. Yes, one is a baby, but she still counts. Fun fact, Elora Danan is played by 2 twin sisters. The hair we see is actually a wig, as they were only 6 months old during the shooting. We have girl boss Sorsha, somewhat resembling what current Hollywood views as a strong female character, but I found it absolutely hilarious that her arch is exactly the opposite of what a modern feminist would expect. She starts as an armor-wearing fighter, commander of armies, I need no man attitude, then proceeds to get confused about her feelings because a man says some corny things that actually made her feel something. Later on, she notices he's a competent fighter, strong, courageous, willing to put his life on the line to protect vulnerable people, unafraid to take risks and go for the big win. Oh my gosh, she found herself a toxic man. She ends the movie in a dress, with her hair well done, standing beside her man and holding a baby. I hereby grant Willow the minimum rate on the PANDERMETER. Must be consumed with a trigger warning. Willow is a cult movie beloved by many, nostalgic, whimsical, and deserving of its 7.2 rating in IMDb, with more than 128,000 reviews. Willow's journey from a hard-working farmer to a skilled wizard is an enjoyable, even lovable experience. I hope one day we can get a decent remake made by people who respect and appreciate the source material. Elements of the film that feel rushed and lacking in depth would benefit from making 2 movies instead of 1, or a TV series. We could get more time with the Nelwyns, the conflict between Galador and Nockmaar, Matt Mardigan's backstory as a defector, Sorsha's royal heritage, and in general spend more time with the characters and lore that till this day fill our hearts with nostalgia and cherished memories. Thank you for your time and attention, and I hope you enjoyed watching it as much as I did making it. If you didn't like it at all, here are some memes to make it up for you. See you in the next video!